Alright, we back on sports. And I want to say this now because I hope that everyone had a safe weekend. I mean, let's be honest here in Philadelphia, we had about, 23, 24 inches of snow, maybe? Alright, and you know what? It was a pretty fun weekend, pretty relaxing weekend. It really was. You know what I mean? I think we need more weekends like that where, people can, you get out there, you shovel, you do what you got to do, you put in the work, and then after that, you go out and play. And here's the thing, alright? Because I'm seeing these dudes online bitching, just bitching over nothing. It's snowing, it's cold. It's not even that fucking cold out. Look, it wasn't even that cold out. Friday it was somewhat cold because the wind was really bad. But other than that, it really wasn't even that cold out. Stop bitching. Put on your jeans, put on your Timbs, put on your coat, go out there and have fun. Go out there and throw snowballs at each other. Go out there and go sledding. As we saw, just, was it not too long ago yesterday, was it even on Saturday, at the art museum. They were sledding down the steps of the art museum near the Rocky statue. Go out and play football. We've been playing football all weekend. Having fun. Yet you got dudes online bitching and crying and shit. It's cold. It ain't fucking. Stop bitching. Remember how you used to be as a kid where you couldn't wait for a fucking snow day so that you can go out and do this stuff? Now you tell me that you're getting older, that all of a sudden you're just going to cut all that shit off? Look, let me give you some advice, alright? So I'll put it like this. If you cut off those type of memories or you take away those type of little things that make life easier, then you're going to be bitter as fuck when you get older. I'm just letting you know that now. Alright? Go out and have fun. It's really not that serious. It's not. Alright? I understand that some places, Southwest Philly, I saw some places in North Philly, other side of Kensington, they were snowed in. Like the city didn't come and help plow anything. The residents. And here's the thing. I've noticed throughout the years when it comes to this type of stuff. When it comes to the small streets and the back streets, you and I both know the city does not come and plow those streets. You know this. You've known it for years. Okay? So I'll put it like this. Community, stop bitching, get out there and help each other. See, it's that serious. It's that serious. Alright? You should know by now because you also know that you have elderly on your block. And you're going to have to go and help them because they're too old to shovel that shit themselves. Just not too long ago, yesterday, a report, a 54-year-old man was up in the suburbs, actually. He was shoveling. After he finished shoveling, had a heart attack and died. You and I both know you're supposed to help out your neighbor. That's what you're supposed to do. It seems like people have forgot the sense of community here these days. But, like I said, they was out there playing football. Matter of fact, they was out playing football in the middle of Broad Street because there was no traffic. Speaking of football, I guess I should get started. And I want to start with the children. And when I mean the children, I mean Eagles fans online. That's right. Y'all don't get it, do y'all? Now, look, I understand that after what I said last week, for those who didn't see the video last week because of all the problems it was having with copyright, it's now back up, so you can see it if you want. It's up to you. It doesn't matter to me. But I'll put it like this. A lot of people have been asking me since then, well, you denounced, that you're part of this Eagles group online, things of that nature. Is that how you're going to play it now, event? Yeah, I am. I'm going to treat Eagles fans like I treat Capcom in my other videos, all right? Because even though you love to see, the fan base get better, you're going to have to jump all over them, hoping that they get better. But you know what? Here's the difference between Capcom and Eagles fans. Capcom, because it's a business, they have a number of fans. Eventually, they'll learn. It took them a number of years to learn. Eagles fans, these new generation Eagles fans, I don't think they're ever going to fucking learn. I don't think they ever will. And we'll talk about this right now because last week, I told y'all, because y'all was arguing online about if Billy Davis was going to stay as defensive coordinator. I told y'all in last week's video, you got to be fucking stupid if you think that Billy Davis was going to stay as defensive coordinator. But, of course, Eagles fans had to argue back and forth over it, causing drama. Well, guess what? After I said that, what happened later that day? Billy Davis fired. How y'all be hardcore Eagles fans and not know this shit? Or should I say, not know football? Because you should know by now, when a new coach comes in, they're going to look at those pieces, assess them, alright? And they'll more than likely get rid of them. Or in Chip Kelly's case, because you just saw it with Chip Kelly. When Andy Reid left, alright? Chip Kelly came and what did he do? Gutted it. Clean sweeped it. You should know this is what they do. They have their own staff in mind. You've got to be kidding me. And here's the thing. It's a little bit different, I guess, with the Eagles this time around. Because as we know what Jeffrey Lurie said, him and Howie and a bunch of people, they were going to make these executive decisions with Peterson. So, but you still knew it was going to happen. The fact that you didn't know this tells me you're not that much of a fucking fan. It seems like a lot of people online are just playing fan. But you get upset when I say that, don't you? Don't you question our fanhood? Blah, blah. Yeah, we're going to talk about that in a minute, okay? Because that shit needs to go as well, as far as I'm concerned, too. Motherfuckers acting real sensitive, especially yesterday after what happened in the NFC Championship. We'll talk about that as well. But you gotta be kidding me, Eagles fans, that within all this bullshit going on, I'm talking about the serious shit that's going on, y'all still arguing over nothing. Now, was it? First was Chip Kelly, then it was Peterson. Now you're arguing whether Sam Bradford is worth it or not when it comes to him getting $25 million a year. Y'all jump from topic to topic to topic to argue and fight over nothing, looking for drama. That's what the fuck y'all do. Seriously, she's right. What y'all gonna argue over next? It's absolutely ridiculous. You've got to be kidding me. And I've seen this. The name calling and everything. One dude said, I think Sam Bradford deserves the money. Blocked. Seriously? Y'all blocking that dude because he had an opinion that he feels that Sam Bradford deserves $25 million a year. That's what y'all blocking people over now. Another person said, I don't feel Sam Bradford deserves the money. Guess what happened to him? Blocked. Y'all got to be fucking kidding me. Are y'all becoming this fucking sensitive? This is not a fan base. For a city that's supposed to be hard-working, hard-nosed, a tough city with a tough fan base, all it takes is for someone to say, I feel Sam Bradford deserves money. And then you get sensitive over it? So, like I said, it's absolutely a fucking joke, this fan base. You've got to be kidding me. Alright? That y'all are so worried about with your heads so far up your own fucking asses that you're worried about fame, that you're worried about followers, that you're worried about likes, that you give yourself fake awards, you've got to be fucking kidding me when all this shit is going. This is the reason why other fan bases don't fucking respect you now. This is exactly the reason. It's a fucking joke. You can't even get mad at this shit. You know what I mean? But I'll put it like this. That's a joke, but I'll tell you something that's not a joke. Alright? Josh Innes. That's right, we're going to talk about this. Because it seems like a lot of people like to avoid this type of topic. You know, the serious stuff that happens with the team, with the fan base, with the city, and its media. I know it's a lot of you motherfuckers like to sit and avoid this shit. You tail and you run when it comes to something real serious. But when it comes to anything else, don't you talk about my fanhood and all this other bullshit, that you'll run to the forefront for. Yeah. But you won't talk about this shit. So let's talk about it right now for those who don't know. WIP's Josh Innes. That's right. Came out and called Jason Kelce, one of the players on our team. That's right. Called Jason Kelce a house nigger. That's right. He came out and said that shit on the fucking air. Came out and called Jason Kelce a house nigger. That's right. Now, when this was said, no one even cared at one point. They didn't care. All right? They didn't care until Jason Kelce came out on Twitter and addressed the issue. That's right. So now when Jason Kelce comes out and addresses the issue, then we see a certain amount of fans come out and say, hey, this is wrong. This we can't have this in our city. And I put it like this because I've seen a lot of people. Once again, we see all these people who overreact on Twitter. And I have to think to myself, is this anything new? No, it's not. Need I have to go back down in history and talk about this shit again? Let's talk about them. Remember when Tony Bruno, and I did a video on it, when Tony Bruno went the racist angle about NBA players and black players and how he stereotyped and they're all thugs and gun-toting? Yeah, okay. Remember that? What happened to Tony Bruno when he did that? Nothing. 97.5 did not fire him, did not suspend him, nothing. All right? Tony Bruno, he was given the boot, later, but not for that issue. Okay? Because they didn't give a shit. Right? Not too long ago, as we know, Mike Missanelli came out and celebrated the injury of Victor Cruz. What happened to Mike Missanelli? Nothing, right? Not suspended, nothing. Not fired, nothing. Still on the staff, right? Okay. Philly media, this is what y'all do. And people who aren't aware of these things, this is what they do. Shock jock tactics. All right? Now, with that being said, Josh Innes. All right? This is the sad part, okay? Because for no one to know this piece of shit looks like, all right? To sit and call Jason Kelce out, this is what Josh Innes looks like. Yeah, that piece of shit right there said it. Yeah, you gotta be kidding me. And here's the thing. When this is said on the air, all right, he's with Hollis Thomas, all right, ex-Eagles football player, all right, calling other people a house nigger, right? And I'll put it like this. If there's anyone who's a real house nigger, it's Hollis Thomas. Because when he says this, Hollis Thomas is like, that's funny, boss. That's funny. We in here, right, boss? Like, that's how he's acting. You've got to be fucking kidding me that you would say something like this. And I put it like this as well. I told y'all before that sports radio, I shouldn't say news radio, sports radio does not give a shit about that demographic. They don't give a shit about people in the inner city. You have to understand, majority of their hosts are from where? The suburbs. Mainline. All right? From the suburbs. Their callers, majority are from where? The suburbs. They talk to white-collar workers, all right? Not blue-collar workers like here in the city. No. They don't represent what this city is about. Yet they'll say, we're the number one voice in Philadelphia. Really? So where were you when all these other things were happening, all right, in Philadelphia? You weren't around then, were you? I've done this before, have I not? All right? And it seems some of you still don't fucking get it. Some of you have learned. Some of you have, all right? Because you brought it up as well. But a lot of you still don't fucking get it, how this media reacts. Now, for everyone who thinks they're a fucking star and they have this star power when it comes to the Eagles fan base, why aren't you talking about this? Why aren't you standing up? Because you're so hardcore of an Eagles fan, because if you think about it, when you're saying something like this to the players, okay, which is the franchise, which is the city it represents, which the fan base it represents, so you would think that you would step up and say, oh no, we're not having this shit. But you're not. Now are you? No. I find it really funny that everyone wants to be looked at as the man, but they don't do shit to be the man. All you gotta do is say shit and people just flock to it. I find it funny that these companies, like I said, these fucking radio stations, that, like I said, I've dealt with these people, you know, hands-on. I've told you before they don't give a shit about these neighborhoods and what happens in these neighborhoods. When I interviewed Kenny Smith, because I find this funny as well, I see a lot of Eagles fans when I, you know, now that, you know, I say all this shit about him. Fuck event. He don't know what he's doing. He don't have any accolades, blah, blah. Yo, obviously y'all have not gone back and looked at my resume. Okay? Like I said, anytime y'all want to go back and match accolade for accolade, accomplishment for accomplishment, we can do that. Until then, shut the fuck up. Because as far as I'm concerned, y'all think that talking shit online makes you a man. Nah, that's not what makes you a man. You know what makes you a man? Doing something for somebody else. Going out there and helping renovating courts. That makes you a man. Doing something for something that has nothing to do with you. That makes you a man. I also told y'all before, it also takes a man to save a life more than it does to take a life. It seems like a lot of y'all motherfuckers have a lot to learn. But you know what? It's okay. Because if y'all want to stay stupid, you can stay stupid. Y'all can argue over bullshit and let this shit coast, huh? Okay. Josh Innes, let me tell you this now. Alright? Because for those who don't know, WIP did not give a shit when this happened. Alright? As of late, because of what Jason Kelce has said, you have to understand it now. He has been suspended for a week. That's it. Suspended for a week because they want it to blow over. Here's the thing. He will not be fired. It's already reported. I'll put the link in the info bar. He will not be fired. And he will not have his time slot moved back to nights. No. They're going to keep him there. And guess what? When all this is done, guess what? There's still people who are defending him. That's right. There's still people who can't wait for him to come back on the air so they can talk to him and say, hey, buddy, pal. This is what we have to deal with right now. This is the serious shit. Now put it like this, because he's apologized, mind you. He wasn't thinking about apologizing before this shit, before the backlash, because Jason Kelce came out and said something. But also understand that this joke that he's talking about, I guarantee you take his ass down to the Badlands, guess what, and make that joke, they'll erase your sorry ass. That's what they'll fucking do. Alright? In an area where people walk around, they wake up, walk around, I'm gotta put my gun on me. I guarantee you make a fucking joke like that, and you gonna pay for that shit. Alright? There's consequences to that shit. Like I said, what y'all say on the radio is close to being pussy. And what people say online is completely pussy. It's absolutely ridiculous that this is what our fan base has come to. So let's cannibalize each other, okay? Instead of worrying about what the fuck is being said about us when it comes to our media. Now granted, I'm sure Philly fans will tell you, because we've said it here before, okay? Philly media is a joke. But it goes to show you how far and what they can get away with. That's what it shows you, alright? And yet, really no consequences. Because a week, come on, that's like I said, vacation. Week vacation. They're waiting for it to just blow over. Because this is Philly, alright? Because as you know, people will forget real quick because they have a short attention span. That's what happens, alright? Ooh, shiny ball will go something else. It's amazing. Like I said, all these people who think they the man talk all this shit about how they the one, they all scared to talk about this shit though. Like I said, this is what separates the men from the boys, the adults from the children. Alright? Like I said, talk football, talk the real issues, because like I said, this affects the fan base, it affects the team, it affects the city, all those neighborhoods. If you looked at everything that's been going on when it comes to these radio stations, it's like, Donald, you just connect the fucking dots. Connect the dots, man. It's not that fucking hard. Where was 95? Where was 97.5 or WIP or all them when I did that interview with Kenny Smith of renovating basketball courts? Not around, huh? Okay. Not around. That's all needs to be said. This is what it comes down to. But let's move on with more football, shall we? Let's talk about the AFC Championship. Last week, I picked my winners. I said I was going to pick the Patriots, and I was going to pick the Carolina Panthers. And I said, and I'll stick to this still, I will pick the Carolina Panthers to win the Super Bowl. Okay? But as we know, the Patriots did not make it, all right? They barely lost. They lost by 2 points, and you know what? If it wasn't for that fucking kicker, all right, missing that extra point, the Patriots wouldn't have had to go for two. They could have kicked the extra point and tied the game going to overtime. A lot of people say that, you know what, when you had those X amount of possessions at the end of the stretch in the game, all right, that you could have easily kicked the field goal, went back down there and went for a touchdown. You know what I mean? So a lot of people feel that way as well. People have to understand, Tom Brady was under duress the entire time, all right? Denver really put a lot of pressure on him. But for all the pressure they put on him, like I said, they only lost by 2 points, and it was still somewhat of a low-scoring game. All right? What, 20-18? That's a low-scoring game, I feel. All right? So as far as I'm concerned, and that's the thing, when you have defenses, and that's what you want from your defense, you want them to hold them to maybe 17, 20 points or something like that. You want that. You know what I mean? But it goes to show you that at the end of the day, those kickers, and you think the NFL, they've been getting blasted this season. The kickers have just not done their jobs at all. I don't know if it's something in the water. I don't know. But kickers haven't done their job, and it has cost people. Now, of course, a lot of people was laughing at Tom Brady. It's like, okay, you can laugh at Tom Brady. After everything we've seen, the Deflategate and all these things, I understand. I'm sure Roger Goodell is very happy right now. You know what I mean? Tom Brady is out of playoffs. It goes to show you that at the end of the day, because, the Patriots cheated in this time, and everyone's going to run over there, and, hey, I feel the Patriots cheated as well. You know what I mean? I do. But you're not going to see me every 5 seconds, you're a bunch of cheaters, blah, blah, blah. No. You're not going to see me do that every time. Every 5 seconds. You deserve it because you're cheaters, blah, blah, blah. Come on, man. Come on. Like I said, do I agree they cheat? Yeah, but I'm not going to do it every time because that's pussy. That really is to me. Complaining over nothing. Complaining over something, over an athlete. Because let's be honest here. The Deflategate thing, come on, it happened. It did. It happened. All right? The Spygate thing, it happened. There's no doubt about it that it happened, okay? But you constantly reminding these people of it, I don't know why. I don't know what was the point, all right? I understand fans are jawing at each other or something. My team's better than yours. Oh, yeah, well, yours is a cheater. That I can understand. But literally, we're seeing people online. It's almost like the equivalent of yelling at their TV. You're a cheater, Tom Brady. Like Tom Brady can hear you. like what? What the fuck? And you see it all the time. Like, okay, whatever. Anyways, NFC Championship kind of went the way I thought it was going to go. Carson Palmer, I didn't expect Carson Palmer to throw so many interceptions. But hey, it is what it is. I figured that the Carolina Panthers defense was going to really hold and that their offense was going to flourish. And it did. There's nothing you can do about that. They're on their way to the Super Bowl. I feel as though they have enough tools to beat Denver in the Super Bowl. It's that simple. Now, here's the problem I have with the Carolina Panthers. I should say I have a problem with it. I should say fans. Because last night we saw so much sensitivity when it came to fans. People were calling Cam Newton classless. People were calling the Panthers classless. What's classless about it? They celebrated in their own house because they won the NFC Championship and they're going to the Super Bowl. What's classless? I don't understand. I don't understand these days where these guys, and it's another thing I don't like either, when guys celebrate in the end zone and people, they get flags for it. I don't believe that at all. All right? These guys are hard-nosed competitors. They're playing hard at an elite level. They are hitting the shit out of each other all the time. Are you going to tell me when a guy makes a play and then does this, or he dances in the end zone, that all of a sudden we're getting sensitive over it? Is that what it comes down to these days? Because I remember back in the day where, football, we had the Icky Shuffle, we had all these other things. They trademarked, prime time and all, trademarked dances when they got into the fucking end zone. They weren't flagged. But now players are getting so sensitive these days that you gotta have a flag for it. You've got to be kidding me. It's absolutely ridiculous. And the thing is, Cam Newton has taken so much hate this year. For those who don't remember, was some woman from some media affiliate wrote the Panthers saying that Cam Newton's dancing was offensive to her and her daughter because they were watching the game and they were offended by his dancing and they wanted him to stop. Like, this is how far it's gone now. That you're writing letters and saying, I'm offended by dancing. You've got to be kidding me. Like, come on. Like, this is football. These guys, all it takes is one hit and their career could be over. Does anyone stop to think about that for a minute? One hit and your career could be over. So guess what? If you score that touchdown, by all means, dance. Celebrate it. Live it up to the fullest. I cannot believe that this is what we're seeing these days. It's unreal. It is. Speaking of unreal, now we'll talk about this. Chelsea versus Arsenal. All right? Yeah, let's talk about this because as far as I'm concerned, this game, as big as of a rivalry was supposed to be, this game really wasn't as great as I thought it was going to be. Okay? Because I put it like this. I had said on Twitter to you guys, I said they need to come out fast. You know what I mean? Hopefully Arsenal starts slow. They'll come out fast. And then Chelsea came out fast and they got that goal. Did they not? And of course we saw flopping here and there. And we'll talk about that in a minute, okay? First half was really well done when it came to Chelsea. The entire game, they held possession. They had more shots on goal. But I put it like this. When Arsenal they'll have, 10 men on the field? On the pitch? You got 10 men. They're minus a man because they got red carded early in the game because of Costa, all right? I'll put it like this. I expect more. So I have to give Arsenal credit in the second half for attacking the way they did. They didn't lose their mind and just give up. No, they attacked, and as we saw near the end of the game, they had a number of chances, all right? This is why being minus a man. So, as far as I'm concerned, Chelsea, did you deserve the win? I'm going to say yeah, because of the way you played, you held. You got a clean sheet. Can't nobody take that away from you, okay? Can't no one take it away from you. But the performance, when it comes to on the offensive end, because you had a number of chances as well to score and you didn't score, you got to execute. And I think that's going to be a big problem in the second half. You have to execute. Yeah, you got the win. It's good. Everyone's celebrating. Everyone's happy. You take the win for what it is. But look, you got to look also after that's all over, you got to take the rose-tinted glasses off and say, hey, look. This was a problem, this was a problem, this was a problem, and you know what? It's time that this is fixed because things can be improved. Ivanovic still is having problems this season. I don't like it at all. At all. Oscar is playing better since Moreno's gone. If you haven't seen the way he's played, he had, 1 goal in 10 games with Moreno, and since he's been gone, he's scored 2 goals, four or five games, 2 or 3 goals, 4 or 5 games, something like that. So he's progressing. Remy, I feel as though, needs to do more. He's getting real tired out there, I've noticed, as of late. I don't know if it's a problem with his stamina or something, because you got to think, I'm seeing this guy walking around a lot. Not running. And even though when he blows a play, he just is like, ugh. And he just totally quits. No, get back on defense. Get back on defense. Hound the ball. If you mess up, then guess what? You've got to get that back so that you can rectify the situation. But he just, and he just walk away. And I'm like, what are you doing? So, yeah, that's a problem. William, I still feel as though he's doing well. Keep him on the corners and free kicks and things of that nature. He's doing well. I will say with Arsenal, in the first half, it was kind of odd with Arsenal because they were playing so far back. It felt like they were playing a 6 back instead of their back 4. It felt like a 6. So I'm thinking to myself, well, if they're that deep in their own zone, they're playing that far back. Chelsea, this is where you need to attack. They're giving you that pitch, that field. They're giving you that zone. Take it. And this is exactly why I keep saying, I expected more on the offensive side because of this. I didn't understand it. In the second half, they cleaned it up a bit. Arsenal cleaned it up a bit. But that first half, they were falling back so quick. It was like, yeah, go after them. Keep attacking. I just didn't understand it. And then, I don't want to say that Chelsea laid off because they looked like the old Chelsea when it came to playing more defense as opposed to holding that lead, as opposed and waiting for the counter, as opposed to going after them guns blazing with offense. And I guess that's how they wanted to do things. They wanted to secure this win. They went into Arsenal's house. They beat them again, and Arsenal fans are upset. And I guess I can see that. It's not just because of the derby, not because of the rivalry, but because if you look at the way the two teams have played, Arsenal's been top 3 pretty much all season so far. And Chelsea, as we know, they've been down in the dumps. They've been, 14th, 15th? At one point, they were so close to relegation, it was ridiculous, And to lose that way, I guess I can understand, especially near the end, because Arsenal players, they're trying to get to that side, but they're kicking the ball completely wrong, and it goes right off the pitch, and fans are getting upset, and it got to the point where, I believe it was 5 minutes left in the game, fans got up and just walked out the stadium. They were very upset. But, like I said, this game was very lackluster. You know what I mean? As much as I felt that this rivalry could have been something, Griffin Force flop of the week goes to both teams. That's right, because of your incessant flopping, which also, I wouldn't say made the game unwatchable, but it really did kill the momentum, and it killed the hype of what this really could have been. So let's see these flops.
Challenge very early made it simple for Mark Clattenburg to give the yellow card. As if, look at him, there's the tumble. All Mark Clattenburg's got to decide.
It's a bad day. I told you, the L in EPL. I'm telling you, it's this, you've got to be kidding me. But you know what? Speaking of taking L's and holding L's, let's talk about the Cleveland Cavaliers, shall we? David Blatt, as we know, has been fired. Their coach has been fired from the Cleveland Cavaliers, which to me makes no fucking sense. And you replace him with Lou? Really? You think, look, now put it like this, all right? When this happened, we all said, this is LeBron's doing. This is LeBron's doing. And a lot of people was like, no, LeBron didn't do this. The media was like, LeBron didn't know anything about this. You cannot tell me that LeBron James didn't know anything about this, okay? You should know nothing happens without this man's input. You know this. They even said that, Cleveland Cavaliers, they said that, they had to have a meeting with family first before they decided they were going to get rid of Blatt. Family. So you know that LeBron James knew what was going on. You knew he knew what was going on. Look, this coach, regardless of your players, all right, this coach has done nothing wrong. I mean, if you look at your record between last season and this season, okay, you're a pretty damn good team. I don't understand why you would feel making this change, firing this man, making this change, what happened. So suddenly you think that if you bring in Lou, because, mind you, Lou is a LeBron guy. So LeBron likes him. And what happened when y'all played the Bulls not too long ago? Y'all got destroyed, didn't y'all? Look, it's this simple. The players aren't playing. All right? They're getting to a point where, and for what we're hearing also, rumors that Blatt was like, it's either Kevin Love or me. I don't know if that's true or not. But you have to be kidding me that the players are playing like this. And you think that the coach is going to be at fault. The coach can only tell players what to do but so much. Granted, the coach has to be able to get them ready, get them prepared. All right? They do. But the players also have to be held accountable. And we haven't seen that as of late. Why are you sitting here telling... Look, you have an aging LeBron who can still play. Okay? Kyrie Irving, if anyone watched them against the Bulls, this team played horrible. Like, chucking up shots. It makes no sense. You've got to be kidding me. But David Blatt is the fall guy. I put it like this. You got rid of Mike Brown, okay, because Mike Brown, LeBron didn't get along with Mike Brown. Remember, if you go back in the day when LeBron was still young, and they said, do you like Mike Brown as a coach? And young LeBron said, yeah, I like Mike Brown as a coach because he lets us do what we want on the court. And Alaba said, that means he's really not coaching y'all then. He's just letting y'all do what the hell he want. And then Mike Brown started coaching. LeBron's like, oh, nope, he got to go. Then we see David Blatt come along. And what we're hearing, LeBron wasn't really a fan of him, and he said, nope, he's got to go. I think the same thing would have happened with Spoelstra in Miami if Pat Riley wasn't like, no, this is going to stay. I think it would have happened too. It feels as though everything that LeBron wants and that LeBron gets, it doesn't work out in that case. I keep telling people, you can't win championships this way. You can't. Granted, you have to build around that team, but for you to keep switching pieces or coaches, and a coach is a serious thing. It's not like, oh, we just trade a player or whatever. No. To get rid of David Blatt, even though you guys went to the championship last year, okay? And then, of course, people think that you're ready to go this year. And, of course, there's fans who are saying, no, they don't even have a chance this year. But we'll see what happens, in the end. But you've got to be kidding me that you got rid of this guy. Matter of fact, even in Cleveland, they're even talking about this. They're even showing this in restaurants and bars. It's pretty damn sad because remember, when LeBron said he was coming back to Cleveland, he did the interviews, I'm going to work with the young guys, and that's what it's going to be about, building this team to the ground up for the future. Remember that? Remember when he said that? Where are those young guys at now? Not around. Where your coach at now? Not around. What he wanted to do is he wanted to build around, he wanted to pretty much treat it like a Miami Heat team and get a bunch of vet pieces and put them together. The problem is, it didn't work. Or should I say it's not working. Could it still possibly work? It's possible. Possible. But you've got to be kidding me that everything that he has said, he is going back on his word, and Cleveland fans are not calling him out on this. But he's LeBron, so I guess he can get away with anything, right? That's what it comes down to. Because whatever he wants, he gets. It's kind of sad, really. But you know what's even more sad? To see basketball go the route of how the quality of it has been dumbed down. If you don't know what I'm talking about, we'll start from the college back up to the NBA scene. I want you to look at this real quick. This college basketball game, this is not basketball as far as I'm concerned. I've seen street ball better than this.
Teams that you're only as good as your senior class.
Gulcher takes it in strong and won't go. Mikhailov comes the other way to Bragg. And Smith got in the way of that one. Williams, that would have brought the house down, but Evans couldn't connect. End-to-end action, Smith just got it back. Our heads are on a swivel.
Fired. All your coaches, fired. Scholarships for your players, gone. You got to be kidding me that this is what passing for basketball these days. What are they learning? Seriously, it's bad enough. Look, we already know that when you're on these type of scholarships or even some walk-ons, you should know the way they have the athlete, the student athlete, they don't even take that many classes these days. And yet, you got this going on. What the hell is going on? You know what? It gets even worse because it happens in the NBA as well.
Caspi again. In and out. Paul fights for it. Can't get it. Cousins gets it. Gay picks it up. Oh my goodness.
Are you kidding me that nobody, not once, tried to reset? They didn't try to kick the ball out, get back together, and say, okay, I'm going to hold it until everyone gets, gets their composure together. Nobody. It's just a skirmish and throwing the ball up. And you know what? It gets worse. Because when you see players who don't even know they're being inbounded the ball, no, just show a clip. Show it.
The first quarter have one assist when Von Lane.
How do you not know? How do you not know? Look, I'll put it like this, all right? Don't tell me that you're following I'm going to turn my back to the guy who's inbounding the ball, and I'm going to put my hands up like this, and hopefully I block it if I look at the guy who's inbounding. That does not, come on. That does not, it's a 1% chance that works. It does. And usually when it happens, it works in transition. Never when it comes to just regularly inbounding a ball. When it comes to just, one person just being there. Never works. You've got to be kidding me that you would sit there. It almost reminds me of like playing 2K, where the computer is so stupid, they're just like, durr, and the ball hits them like, durr, and they don't move. That's what it feels like. You don't see these type of things happen on the court. You don't. You don't see people getting these like big skirmishes for seconds and seconds and seconds at a time. You can't say minutes, but seconds at a time. No, somebody kicks it out and resets. It always happens, okay? You can't tell me that people are running back and forth so quick that they can't do anything where the guy's just like, I'm just going to throw the ball out of bounds. Like, you don't see this type of stuff. It's so bad. But you know what? I guess it could be worse. I'll let, you guys and girls decide what's worse. The piss-poor play of basketball or the security guard being harassed by a mascot?
That would be Stuff the Magic Dragon. Long a staple here in Orlando. The franchise established back in 1989.
That guy, all he wanted to do was come to work, finish off his shift, and go home and call it a night. He has to come into the arena and get assaulted by a feathery varmint.
Time now for the Coors Light Cold Hard Fact and Ish Smith. His performance Monday at New York, the 16 assists, a career high in the first Sixers since Allen Iverson with those types of numbers. Allen did it back in April of 2005. Coors Light Cold Hard Fact. And the officer, I dare say, is stoic.
Bro! Yo, what's with that mascot? Yo! Yo, he even flashed him. Like, you gotta be kidding me. You know what? I have to give that security guard credit for being a good sport about it. Because that mascot, that mascot is on a completely different level. I ain't messing with that mascot, man. Yo, to sit and do something like that, oh my God. And the security guard, you can tell he wanted to laugh. He wanted to laugh so bad, but he didn't. And oh my God, come on. Magic fans, that's what y'all working with out there in Orlando? That's what y'all working with? Come on, man. Oh my God. All right, let's move on, man. Let's talk more basketball real quick. More basketball. We've been talking about as of late. We've seen it time and time. I've shown you examples here in videos where just bad plays happen. And, bad calls in general. And we've seen this for a long time in basketball in the NBA. And we always say that, the refs need to get it right, and the NBA should fix these calls. Well, for those who have always defended this, and we've seen it online, people say, well, you can't get everything right. You can't have all these eyes and ears everywhere. So sometimes you just got to let it go, even though it's BS. And I've said before, Sometimes they call plays. Refs dictate the flow of the game so that it brings drama. So it makes it tighter so that people watch. They play on your emotions. So you will see BS calls come from here and there. And for those who don't understand how they can fix this, I want you to see, all right, it'll be in the top left, okay, of this picture, all right, exactly what the NBA screening process looks like. So when a bad call happens or a questionable call happens, what the office looks like so that they can, confirm if it's there or not. So as you can see right there, that replay center, all those big screens, all right? And you think to yourself, okay, well, even the refs on the floor, they have the TV screen, they can see the replay, and you know what? They still get the call wrong. All those big screens is at the replay center. And I'll put it like this. This is on an off night, so as you see, there's only a couple people there. But look at all the stuff around, all the tech around them. Could you imagine a major game, or probably on a holiday, how much staff is in there to make sure that this happens back at their headquarters? You have to understand that they still let these things go because they purposely do it. It's that simple. There is no excuse for these plays not to be corrected. These calls not to be corrected. When you have a replay center as large as that. I mean, seriously, it's as big as it. No, there's no excuse. Speaking of no excuses, I want to talk about boxing. I want to talk about this at the end. And we'll end this after this. For those who did not get a chance to see Premier Boxing Champions over the weekend, really well done. All right, Showtime also on Friday had a really well done. Boxing as well. Lots of knockouts, lots of stoppages. But I want to talk about Danny Garcia moving up in weight to fight Robert the Ghost Guerrero. Now, this fight was really interesting. I have to say this due to the fact that two different contrasting styles. As you know, Danny Garcia likes to stay to the outside, uses a hand speed. As Robert Guerrero, as we know, he will stand and bang with you. He will throw at you. Robert Guerrero is a very respected fighter in the industry. So, but like this, when you see this happening the first 6 rounds, it was really tough to call because these first 6 rounds, Robert Guerrero is making it seem like he's making a case for himself to win this title. I mean, he is throwing bombs. He is stalking Garcia the entire time. And Garcia is constantly moving and moving and moving. And here's the thing. Remember when Garcia got mad at Peterson for moving that much and not standing and fighting? It's amazing how he's doing the same thing against Guerrero. And Guerrero is throwing bombs. He's hitting Garcia with a lot of bombs. It wasn't until I'm going to say about the 5th or 6th round where Garcia found the way in. Mind you, Robert Guerrero is a southpaw fighter. Now, for those who don't understand how to fight southpaws, all right, you have to stay on the outside of their foot. And that goes for any orthodox fighter or southpaw fighter either. When you're toe-to-toe with a fighter and you're on an angle, you're always supposed to have your foot on the outside of their lead foot. Okay? Now, with that being said, with a southpaw, overhand right is your most damaging punch. All right? This is not like leading with a jab and then going with the second shot, 1, 2. No, you actually have to come in with the 2 because it's open every time when he tries to come in. So, what did Danny Garcia do? He came in with the 2 and jabbed out with the 1 when he rotated. Now, for those who watched this fight, I have to ask you, did you notice something about that? We've seen this before, haven't we? Yes. Holly Holm versus Ronda Rousey. That's right. Remember, Holly Holm would lead with the power punch and then jab out. That's what she did. It's the same thing here. It's the same science, the same thing. And I'm shocked that Robert Guerrero didn't catch on to this because from the 6th round on, he was getting caught with bombs. I mean, Garcia, he was just waiting, boom, waiting again. And the hand speed was there, so he was going to make that punch. And there was times where he took a punch to give a punch as well. So as far as I'm concerned, Garcia really turned it on between the 5th, 6th round on. He really did. However, that last round was such. I implore everyone who hasn't seen this fight. This last round, they're standing in one spot and they're just throwing. And it's just throw. They don't give a shit. They don't. They want it. It goes to show you, it's not just passion, but it's, you're not going to beat me. You're going to have to kill me to beat me. And this is for a title, okay? And this, this division, I wasn't sure how Danny Garcia was going to fare, against someone as experienced as Guerrero and moving up in weight at the same time. However, Garcia pulled it out. He won the title, which, hey, congratulations to Philly's own Danny Garcia, Can't take anything away from Robert Guerrero because this is what he does. This is why he's respected, you know what I mean? But now we're hearing Keith Thurman, because they talked to Keith Thurman afterwards, and he was like, he wants to fight Garcia. He wants to. That's going to be a hell of a fight. But for those who don't know, Keith Thurman has to fight Sean Porter first, which is also going to be a hell of a fight because anyone knows Sean Porter, it's like the man fights in a phone booth. He will stay up close to you and he will throw bombs. The only time this guy has really lost is when he fought, Kell. So, yeah, and which is an amazing, amazing British fighter, which I'm still waiting for him to fight Amir Khan, but Amir Khan keeps ducking him. But, whatever, But Sean Porter versus Keith Thurman is going to be really well done. I think Keith Thurman is going to end up fighting more on the outside. I know Sean Porter wants to come closer. He's a smaller guy. He's going to come closer. He's going to, get in and try to fight, fight and throw those bombs. He's going to try and make it a nasty fight. But remember, Keith Thurman has power on the outside as well as on the inside. Same thing with Sean Porter. But like I said, Sean Porter is going to have to work on the inside. It's the same thing he did with Adrian Broner. He's going to have to work on the inside because Adrian Broner, as we know, is one of those guys who stands back and throws punches. You know what I mean? Same thing with Daniel Garcia. Stands back, throws punches. This is going to be really interesting to see these two fights come to, in the future, see what happens. Because the Porter Thurman fight, I really feel won't disappoint. So I will be watching that. And then Garcia versus Thurman. We'll have to see first what happens with Porter Thurman to see, whatever happens between them two. And then they'll go on to that. For those who have not seen what's been going on as of late, the welterweight division is right now I'm going to say the best in its class right now when it comes to boxing. There is so much talent that is stacked. Even guys who don't have titles, who you would just think they're just in the top 10, are still elite fighters. Olympians and things of that nature. Like, it's so stacked, it's crazy to watch. You know what I mean? And it's one of those things where I personally will not miss. You know what I mean? Even if I'm like somewhere else, I'm going to record it or something. I'm not missing these fights because the level of talent that is there is just, it's amazing. Anyways, I think I'm done for today. I think I've talked about enough. Seriously, I can't believe that WIP would not fire this man. Fire this man for the things that he has said. But it goes to show you what these radio stations think about you. Now, don't they? Exactly. We can cheer on players getting hurt. We can make fun of, stereotype basketball players in their, inner city communities. And we can call players house niggers. That's the message you're sending us, Philly media. That's exactly the message you're sending us. And yet, I'm sure there's a lot of Eagles fans, even so, all right? If they're still watching after this point. They're probably pissed off. I'm disliking the shit out of this. But because they're so sensitive. I'll put it like this. Eagles fans, if you feel as though you are better than these types of pieces of shit that say this type of stuff on the air, then it's time you start proving it. Because that's what it is. There's no more getting upset and overreacting. No, it's time to show that you can do this and be good at it. Quality over quantity. That's what it is. It's time to show that, hey, these guys get paid. Paid! That's right, because some of you treat YouTube like it's a job, right? So, these guys get paid to say this shit. And you're thinking to yourself, I'm better than these guys. I know you're thinking that. Then start to prove it. That's what it is. Enough of this shit talking. It's time to start proving shit. It's time to put up or shut up. But it seems like a lot of people don't have that in them. They talk a good game, but they really don't. If so, prove me wrong. Anyways, I'm done for today. I'll talk to y'all later. Y'all be safe. I'm out.